Pac-Man Trolls here with another Magic the Gathering deck tech. This time I will be going over my Angel Mono White deck tech. I basically made modifications to my Angel recently. I figured there was absolutely no point in having any green mana because I only have 4 green cards in the entire deck and everything else was white, and I made some modifications to this. It's actually a human Angel deck tech, and I've made it better, I feel. Mono white. Anyway, let's get right into it. We have, for land base, we have 2 Seraph Sanctuaries. These are great cards for the Angels. Whenever they enter the battlefield, you gain a life, and whenever an angel enters, you gain a life, and it adds colorless as mana. So those are good. And then we have just 20 of the basic plain mana, and that is our land. 2 Seraph Sanctuaries and 20 basic plains. For our creatures, we get into the humans pretty much right off the get-go. It's humans and then the angels, and that's kind of how it works with mana too. So for our 1-drops is 2 Selfless Cathars. They are 1/1s that you can tap a white and a colorless to sacrifice it and give all your creatures a +1/+1 until end of turn. 2 of those are pretty useful for a good little small hit. Not bad. And then we have our life gainers for 1-drops. These are very, very good. We have 4 of the Cathedral Sanctifiers, 1 white mana. They enter the battlefield, you gain 3 life, and it's a 1/1. So those really good cards to have. We get into our 2-drops here. We have the Capuchin Knights, 1 white, 1 colorless. They have first strike, and if you tap a white and a colorless, they get a +1 attack until end of turn, and they're a 1/1. So I have 2 of those. They're pretty good for just having something to have for that first strike hit, and a 2/1, not bad, I guess. Then we have our defenders, our angelic walls. These are very good. They're a pretty good wall. For 2 mana, a 1 white and 1 colorless, you have a defender with flying that's 0/4. Pretty good defense for those flyers early on in the game. And then we get our Wingsteed Riders. 2 of those, 2 white, 1 colorless. You get flying 2/2 that whenever you cast a spell that targets it, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. That's a 2/2. So those are pretty decent. Not bad at all. Now we get into our Angel part of the deck. We have 2 Herald of Wars, 2 white, 3 colorless. You get a flying 3/3 that has, whenever it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and angel spells and human spells cost 1 less colorless to cast for each +1/+1 on it. So this is actually a fantastic card for the humans and the angels. It helps out a lot. We have 1, and I plan on getting maybe 4 of these because they're just fantastic angels. 1 Angelic Skirmisher. For 2 white and 4 colorless, you get a 4/4 flyer that at the beginning of each combat, you get to choose either First Strike, Vigilance, or Lifelink, and all of your creatures get that ability until the end of the turn. Fantastic card. We have 2 of the Aegis Angels. These are 2 white and 4 colorless for flying, and whenever they enter the deck, or whenever they enter the battlefield, target permanent gains indestructible until end of turn, and they're a 5/5 flyer. So that's pretty good for 6 mana, I would say. And then we have the Angel of Glory's Rise. For 2 white, 5 colorless, you get a flying 4/6 that whenever it enters the battlefield, exile all zombies and return all human cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. And it's a 4/6 flyer. So that's pretty decent as well. Now we get into our artifacts. For the artifacts, we have 1 Elixir of Immortality. For 1 colorless, you get to put it out. And for 2 colorless and tapping it, you get to gain 5 life and shuffle this and your graveyard into the owner's library. So that's a fantastic card. I think everybody knows this card if you play Magic. It's fantastic. I love Elixir of Immortality. And then we have our other things that help with angels and life gain, and maybe even just drawing cards if you want to just sack it. A Scroll of Avacyn. We have 4 of those. For 1 mana, you get to put it out. 1 mana, you get to sacrifice it, draw a card. If you control an angel, you gain 5 life. So that's pretty good for drawing cards, and then it's also good if you want to sack it just to get that card draw. It's pretty decent. And then we have 2 Angel Tomb. These are 3 colorless mana. You get whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can have it become a 3/3 white angel artifact with creature with flying until the end of turn. Now, since it's until the end of the turn, I'm going to guess that this card does get to attack, since it's only until the end of the turn, and it would be useless for it to just sit there and then come back. Even though it doesn't say it has haste, I'm pretty sure this card should be able to attack. That would be ridiculous. But let me know in the comments. I mean, yeah. So, and then we have our Font of Vigor. That is 1 white, 1 colorless. You get to put it out. And for 1 white and 2 colorless, you can sacrifice it to gain 7 life. Enchantments, these aren't bad for gaining life, of course. And then we have our other enchantments, our beautiful stoppers. 4 of the Pacifisms. For 1 white and 1 colorless, you get to make a creature not able to attack or block. And that's fantastic to have. Now we get into our sorceries. We have 2 of the Deify Deaths. These are for mainly our angels, but if we need to return a human, we can. For 2 white, 3 colorless, you return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it's an angel, put 2 +1/+1s on it. And we have, for just a clear board wipe, we have some Terminuses. That doesn't kill them, but it gives them out of the way. For 2 white and 4 colorless, you can put all creatures on the bottom of their deck. But if you draw it on the first turn, on the first card you draw the turn, you get to pay 1 white mana, and it wipes the board. So it's fantastic. And our last 2 cards of the deck are instants. We have Battlewise Valors. These are 2 white, 1 white, or 1 colorless, I mean. And I have 2 of these. A target creature gets a +2/+2 until the end of the turn, and you get to scry. So, not a bad deck. I think it works a lot better than it was in previous videos. I have edited this deck many times now. I just haven't posted deck techs on it. I will have a vampire deck being posted sometime in the near future. Maybe. I don't know. It's just some of the cards I'm looking at I don't have the money for right now. I need 3 Bloodline Keepers and 1 more Vampire Nocturnus. And I have that deck completed. And I will post a vampire deck tech. Mono black. Very shortly. That deck is fantastic. I love it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video of Magic the Gathering. It's Pac-Man Trolls, and leave a like if you want. If not, that's cool. And I'll see you guys in the next video whenever I post one. Talk to you later.